Hello everybody, my name is Parsa Blex and welcome back to Broxer channel. In this new video, we have Formula One 2020 game review. So obviously this game came out in 2020, it was developed and published by Codemasters, and it's a multi-platform game so you can experience it on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Let's check it out. Formula One is very much defined by its superstar drivers, Hamilton, Senna, and others. These names loom large over entire eras of Formula One racing. But while it's the drivers that get the adulation, the legacies, and the lucrative watch endorsements deals, above all that Formula One is still a team sport. Formula One 2020 is without doubt the most superb interpretations of that, yet bringing a satisfyingly deep management angle to the most feature-filled Formula One game you can play. Formula One really is much more than just driver versus driver. It's organization versus organization in a checkbooks shattering technological arms race, and Formula One 2020's fantastic new My Team mode is a wonderful and addictive representation of this war over precious milliseconds. Let's continue with an example. My Team stands apart from past Formula One career modes by casting players as not just a driver, but as a team owner too, where previously we've needed to choose and join an existing team as a driver for hire and hop between them as the opportunities arise. Formula One 2020 allows players to follow in the footsteps of greats like Sir Jack Brabham and Bruce McLaren and build their own personal race teams around them, all while still taking to the track every weekend. While past Formula One career mods have allowed us to control car upgrade R&D on behalf of our employers, giving drivers at least some influence on what happens off the circuit, My Team massively eclipses this. You need to build a brand new team from the ground up, effectively becoming the 11th team within the Formula One Championship. That means choosing team colors, assembling a logo, signing a power unit, securing sponsors, counter racing a second driver, and watching your finances as you attempt to grow your organization into an outfit that can challenge the established powerhouses. My Team adds a huge amount of longevity to Formula One 2020. Many players never hit the 10-year mark in previous Formula One games, but I bet they could here. And it's not just because they are visible things to spend vast sums of your sponsorship bucks on, like upgrades to various parts of your business, including bigger and better simulators and fancy wind tunnels for your aerial buffers. And it's not just because the finite number of days in the Formula One calendar means it's a constant judging act to schedule everything from training for your second driver to team building activities for your various R&D departments. It's because a sense of ownership over the destiny of my race team is something unique to Formula One 2020. The livery selection scope in Formula One 2020 is ultimately pretty narrow. It's a bit silly that showing any kind of specific attention to one department makes the rest of your stuff grumpy, like they're a bunch of 5-year-olds who missed out on a cookie. Some of the recycled cutscenes clash a bit with the fancy of you being the boss now, but minor grievances aside, mixing a robust motorsport management experience with the series' existing brand of excellent on-track action means My Team isn't just the best thing Codemasters has ever added to its Formula One franchise. If additional team micromanagement isn't your bag, or you just bleed Ferrari red and could never imagine racing against them, My Team hasn't replaced the traditional career mode. It still exists as a separate mode. Like last year, you can start with a small F2 appetizer, though you can also complete a full season of it this time if you wish. Failing that, there is still the regular championship mode where you play as a real driver in a fantasy version of the 2020 season. And perhaps best of all, however, is the return of Splitscreen. And yes, it seems a little silly to celebrate something we had back in 1996. The inability to mix the excellent standard simulation handling with the new, more forgiving casual driving model in Splitscreen means adapt Formula One player will probably need to crank it down to casual to share the track with the very young or inexperienced, but it's a little sacrifice for a lot of fun. The casual driving model provides helpful friction assist for off-track excursions and an automatic respawn feature for Formula One newbies. But Formula One 2020 caters for the other end of the spectrum too, with improved grip on corner exits thanks to some messaging of the type model and a more realistic ERS department mechanic. The main function is now mapped to a single, more authentic overtake button. There are also neat, nerdy touches like the ability to fiddle with the HUD and fully customize what you want on screen. Formula One 2020 is simultaneously the deepest yet most accessible Codemasters Formula One experience to date. The heavy reliance on recycled vignettes and the same old faces we've been seeing for virtually an entire generation admittedly means Formula One 2020 doesn't necessarily look as fresh as it feels, but between My Team and Splitscreen, this is a good experience you can have with the Formula One series for years. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing and turn on the notification bell. And if you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and tell me your thoughts on comments. I see you next time in the next video. Peace.